All right, aloha. Hope everybody's doing well. It's been a minute since I posted a video. Kind of been on a personal journey of sorts and, just living life as we all do. This is going to be a second to last video on the Transcendence theme. And we're going to be doing a special exercise, and the exercise is called New Gone. And the idea is to sensitize us to the appearance and disappearance of our sensory experiences. So that's why it's kind of a special exercise. We're just going to be sensitizing ourselves to it through this process. And then this will lead us into the next video, which will be expansion and contraction. So with that in mind, I will see you on the other side. All right, here we go. New gone. And for this practice, all we're going to do is notice when a new sensory experience happens and or disappears. So in order to get started, we'll just take it one step at a time. And we'll start with the visual field. And I offer you to go ahead and just look around the room, or you can look here at the TV screen as well. Assuming you're in a comfortable position, this will be a minute on this one. And look around the room and notice where your sight lands. And as soon as it lands on something, you can just note it, or maybe even a mental label, new. But in this case, maybe just note it or noticing that, oh, it's something new. Even without the label, there's an ability to know that you've landed on something new. And then go ahead and move your visual field somewhere else. And as soon as it lands on something new, you just notice new. In this exercise, we're really just trying to notice how it's almost like tunnel vision. As we transition again, our sight from one thing to another, go ahead. Notice how what we were just looking at drops away from our attention, and what we shifted our attention to appears. And it's no, mystical experience or science trick, or it's just kind of stating the obvious, right? As we move our visual field around, go ahead and move it to something new. It's something new. And whatever we were focusing on before is either gone from our visual field entirely, or maybe just not the focus of it at any given time. And so you can do this with your attention. You can just transition it from one thing you see to another thing, new. Noticing each time, new. And continue to just keep transitioning your sight to new things, new. And you can kind of notice how, go ahead and transition again, new. A new experience arises and the old one disappears. There's almost like a tunnel vision of attention as the new experience arises and the old one disappears. Now go ahead and try zoom out. Maybe focus on the parameters or the peripheral vision out. Now your new is the expanded vision. There may be something in front of you directly, but your awareness or your attention is zoomed to the out. So that's new. And zoom it back to what's in front of you. New. See how your transition of awareness can go from seemingly out there to the edges of the peripheral vision. New. Every time you're moving it back and forth from out there to kind of the peripheral vision, there's kind of a transition, right? It's kind of like peripheral vision. I can look at the peripheral side and then I can transition my attention out there. Peripheral, new, out there. And you can pick a new out there every time. So our attention can transition from seemingly external, or that thing seemingly over there, to what we assume is us over here, but really it's just our visual attention is moving through this visual field of that, 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 that. And each time it's new, new. All right. Now, hopefully that made sense. If not, we're going to go through a couple more fields and explore them as well. And maybe we'll piece it together and one of the sensory fields will work better for you. For now, let's just try and close our eyes. And now notice that there's a new experience of the appearance of whatever happens when you close your eyes. And this actually can be an interesting one. Open your eyes again. Ah, it's all new. New experience. Close your eyes. Ah, it's new. My awareness, my attention is on something new. So we're just noticing how our attention shifts to new things constantly. And maybe when you got your eyes closed, can you shift your attention to new things within the internal field? You see things in one area in the vast field of our closed eyes, maybe shapes or colors. Oh, that's new. Oh, something else new over here. Or maybe it's just darkness, and the darkness is itself is this new experience you're having. We're just noticing every time we shift or our attention naturally shifts to what newness is that we are noticing, that our attention is upon. And you can do this with your hearing as well. So maybe transition to what you hear. And for example, I can hear a fan now. Well, this time my attention's been on the visual field, but I've transitioned the weight of my attention to the hearing field, right? So now the weight of my attention is listening. And first thing I heard was a fan, so that's new. And then I listen a little closer because the fan itself is a little pretty loud. I listen to the variation of the sound. Oh, that's new. I didn't notice that before. Maybe I'll have a thought then in my head. Oh, that's new. New thought. So hopefully you're picking up that this exercise is just noticing every little new event that happens that we become aware of or purposely train our attention on. It's kind of fascinating, actually, that our attention is never really fixed anywhere for an extended period of time without some effort. It's always shifting and moving around between what we see, what we hear, and what we feel. Speaking of feel, maybe shift to your body to see if you feel any body. All of a sudden, that which we were looking at earlier or what we heard earlier kind of drops to the background, and there's this new weighted attention on what we feel, whether it's the whole body or foot on the floor, 2 feet on the floor, our hands on the desk. Our attention is just moving around, noticing every time there's a new aspect of it. Or maybe your emotional states have changed throughout this practice. And you notice there's a new state. Maybe there was a little confusion earlier, but you've had an aha moment, an insight as to the constant changing nature of experience and the newness of every moment. And that is a new feeling. Or if you don't get this right away, it's okay. It's something that we practice. That's why it's an exercise. Just constantly noticing how there's new experiences. New thought arise. new sound over there, new feeling in my body. We're not worried about see, hear, or feel in this case, though. We're just noticing the constant shifting and newness. And we note every time we capture ourselves noticing something new. Just for the benefit of this exercise, if you find your attention lingering on something, feel free to just transition it yourself. Like, I keep getting pulled towards the sound of the fan. It's new every time I hear it again. And then I hear some new kind of gyrations in the volume of it. But I also want to keep noticing new things. So maybe I'll open my eyes and look at the new visual field. That may look familiar from the visual field we saw earlier, but it's new. It's what's happening right now, new. And on the flip side of this, it's gone. So every time our attention moves to something new, something else where it was disappears. Or in the case of the visual field, it may not completely disappear, but it will no longer be the object of focus. Our attention will not be weighted on it. So like if you are looking at me up here on the screen, and then you look over to the palm tree, well, the focus is now there. The palm tree is the new. I'm still over here, but as long as you're still looking at the palm tree, that's where the weight of your attention is, the majority of your attention. The same thing is with hearing, the same thing is with feeling. It's just where the weight or the majority of our attention moves to. That's the newness. But the interesting part is every time we move to something new, something's dropping away, right? So it can be a little harder to detect the disappearance because it's almost an afterthought. If you're, highly skilled mindfulness practitioner, sometimes you can capture that moment. And even if not, you can still capture that moment. And anybody can with practice of noticing the disappearance of experience. And it's relative to the new. So for me, what I usually catch it retroactively. So if my attention is on the screen here and I shift it to the palm tree up in the corner, and then I have another new over here, this palm tree, I acknowledge the gone of the original one. And if you want, you can stop worrying about the new, keep allowing your attention to move around, but instead of noting the new, you notice the gone. So in this case, my attention is going to transition from that palm tree here back to this palm tree. And as soon as this palm tree is out of my awareness, I'm going to go gone. Ready? It's like this. It's here, gone. It's going back, gone, gone. That's going to leave this one and go back to the other one. Gone. Okay? Get it? My attention here. And as soon as it's gone, as soon as I start to look over here, I'll label it gone. Now you can do that with any of the categories, see, hear, or feel. Just for this practice, maybe start off with the visual field as it's easier. In my experience, may not be for you. So anytime you feel like it, just transition your visual field to something else. And what you're just looking at is gone. This case, it's easy because you're the one moving your attention, so you know it will be gone soon. Transition, gone of that experience. Maybe go over to the bush here. And we're going to move it from here to the other side. On 3, it's going to be gone. Ready? 1, 2, gone. And then we're going to go back. 1, 2, gone. 1, 2, gone. 1, 2, gone. The more you practice, the more you can see the ending of this experience, gone. And the new of this experience, gone. All right. Now let's go ahead and, if you don't mind, close your eyes. Uh, Maybe we'll work with the hearing. Can be a little easier with the eyes closed because we can weight our attention towards listening and pick something if there's a sound available. In my case, it's that same fan. My attention's really drawn to it now. How am I going to do gone with this? I know. I'll shift to listen to my internal dialogue, whether there's any thoughts there or not. But I'm going to really shift from listening to the fan to listening to my thoughts. And notice how the fan sound may not disappear, but my attention to it, my awareness of it, dissipates as my focus goes to listen to my thoughts. So on 3, I'm going to stop listening to that fan and listen to my thoughts. 1, 2, gone. And you can even generate some thoughts, maybe some internal dialogue if you want to listen to your thoughts. And then as you're listening to them, get ready to transition back to listening to whatever your chosen object that you can hear. In my case was the fan. On 3, we're going to stop listening to our thoughts and focus on the fan. 1, 2, gone are the thoughts. Now listen to the fan or whatever you can hear within your surroundings. And now just play with that, moving your attention between sounds, whether they're internal sounds, maybe you have birds chirping out in the neighborhood or neighbors making noise or cars driving by, dogs barking. Notice the ending of those events, whether they naturally dissipate and are gone, like the dog barking ends, it's gone, or whether it ends because you've shifted your focus to some other sound and that original focus is gone. It may be very subtle. What's gone is the weight of our attention from one experience as it transitions to a new experience. And be patient. The gone part of this exercise can be very challenging for some. For some, it's very natural and the opposite for the new. So, however it shows up for you, be kind to yourself. You can do the same with feeling, right? I can feel my feet and then transition to the feeling of the air blowing on my shoulder. The feet feeling is gone as I transition my attention to something else. And ultimately, we can note new and gone throughout all of see, hear, feel categories, right? It doesn't have to be visual to visual. It can be visual to hearing, it can be hearing to feeling, any combination therein. Seemingly internal, external, emotional, physical, mental. And you can do new and gone. You can do gone and new. It's okay if there's a delay. Don't worry about it. Over time, you'll get closer and closer to the precise moment it transitions and have more and more clarity of that movement of attention. You can also just stick with new or just gone. It's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. That's our special exercise of new, gone. And like I said, it's an exercise. Just noticing everything new or noticing how everything drops away as soon as our attention moves to something new or any combination thereof. And if it doesn't feel natural right away or you don't feel like you're getting it, it's okay. It's called a practice. It's an exercise. If you give yourself some grace and some patience, over time, you will get closer and closer to that transition of attention, the new and the gone, the new, gone, or the gone and the new, the gone and the new. However it shows up for you. Good luck with that. And coming up next, we're going to be focusing on expansion and contraction in the 100th video celebration for my YouTube channel. It'll be the 100th video. So I hope you stick around for that 100th video. And after it, there will be an update on where we're going to be going with this channel and what direction we're going to be moving a little bit away from the mindfulness and into more of this transcendence themed and beyond. So I really hope to have you join me on that journey. All right. Thank you. Mahalos. Aloha.